Stephen, thanks for talking to us. I suppose the best place to start, how are you feeling? 3 games in a week at the age of 36, is it taking its toll?
Cheeky. Yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm good. I feel fine. To be honest, I've never suffered with aches and pains and things like that. I've always adapted well to it and got on with it.
So, recovery day today, how important is recovery now at this stage of your career? Do you do anything different now than you did when you were starting out in the game?
To be honest, it's just diet more than anything for me. I think I've changed my diet in the last sort of 2-3 years and it's helped me massively. I think it helps with the aches and pains and also speeds up my recovery and aids me in that way.
Cool. So last night was your 435th league appearance. I don't know if you're keeping track. But how much do you remember September 2002? Your first professional game, Bradford City versus Walsall. What was that like for you?
Very nerve-wracking. I think you come into a club where you know there's more on the line than reserve games. You've got the crowds playing for 3 points, and the situation when I came into Bradford was they were just coming out of administration and things like that, which was a difficult time around the club. But I loved every minute of it, and I think it just inspires you to want to play more, and I've enjoyed every moment since.
So you had a couple of loan spells before you eventually made that breakthrough for Liverpool. How big a moment was it making your debut for Liverpool? Because I think you replaced a half-decent midfielder on that day, didn't you?
It wasn't too bad. No, it was a dream come true because I'd worked so hard at everything to get in that position, to get myself right to play for Liverpool. I'd had bad injuries and I'd done the right thing on going out on loan, and it's like an old cliche, but you learn your trade and you grow up and become a man, and then to obviously replace Steven Gerrard and come onto the pitch is it's not a bad way to make your entrance.
Because I believe at the time there was some question marks about the rotation policy at Liverpool, and you probably didn't play quite as much as you'd like. Was that just because there were so many good players in every position, or was it something that you feel could have been better handled by the club?
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the reasons I left the club was because of that. I actually started out as a left midfielder when I broke into the team. I played a lot of games at left midfield, and we had John Arne-Risa and Jimmy Traore at left back. And the infamous game at Burnley where Jimmy Traore scored the own goal. I moved back into left back that game and played well and continued to play left back from there on. But like you say, in and out of the team became difficult, and just become a moment where I thought I want to go and play more regular because I was enjoying it so much. And fortunately for myself, I got that opportunity to go to Blackburn and stay within the Premier League.
So you got the move to Blackburn. It must have been a relief in many ways that you were going to go get some more Premier League football under your belt, but was it emotional leaving Liverpool since you'd been there as a young lad? Yeah,
it was very tough to make that decision, but I knew it was for the best thing for my career. I spoke to Steve Highway at Liverpool, and he's just turned around and said, well, you can play 150 games in and out the team for Liverpool over your career, or 200 odd games, or you can go and be a professional footballer and play 500 games. And I thought, yeah, you're right in what you say, so I took his advice and took the jump.
So that time at Blackburn and then Aston Villa, is it fair to say that they were your best footballing years at those two clubs?
I'd say definitely the whole time at Blackburn was the best time of my career, and probably the first year at Villa under Martin O'Neill. I broke into the England squads and things like that, which was something I only dreamed of, and I knew it was a big achievement to do that, but I was playing really well at the time and enjoying my football, but it helped that the environment that I was in and the managers I played under.
Well, it was the form at Aston Villa that got you the call up to the England's 2010 World Cup squad. How big was that for you?
Yeah, it was humongous. Not just for me, for my family, for my friends. Basically having the best seat in the house to watch the World Cup. I knew it would be difficult to break into the team with Ashley Cole, who's arguably the best left back that England have ever had, and he was at that moment in time probably the best left back in the world. So I knew I was going there as backup. I understood that. I knew my role within the squad, and I enjoyed going to the World Cup and experiencing it.
And what was the atmosphere like in the camp then under obviously Fabio Capello, and there was a lot of stuff in the media about what his England regime was like, but how did you find it as a player?
We were very isolated. We were in a purpose-built complex that was out the way. We couldn't walk out into the local town. We couldn't go and sample South African life, if you like, and just see what's around you. We couldn't interact with the fans. So it became hard at times because you were so confined to the spaces that you were in. We did get time when we moved around for the games to go out and see things, but from my point of view, it was my first World Cup, it was my first major tournament, so anything to me was a bonus. I enjoyed every minute of it, but I think Michael Carrick's come out recently and spoke about his time at the World Cup and how he found it difficult, but these guys have been going to 5-6 major tournaments. For me, I probably knew in the back of my head that this could be the only chance that I got. And
you'll be on the other side of the fence, so to speak, with this year potentially working in the media at a World Cup, but how do you fancy England's chances for Russia?
I think they've got a chance. I think the squad that Gareth Southgate's put together, the young squad, has been very ambitious. They've done well at times. Things do change when you go to a major tournament, how people do handle that time alone and being bored at times. And it is doing the right things and making sure that you're ready for every game. But I think a good run this year would probably be quarter-finals, semi-finals, because it's such a young squad.
Well, Stephen, with 500 odd league games with England, we could talk all day about players you've played with and coaches that you've worked under. So if I just give you 5 names and you tell us the first thing that comes to mind, elaborate a little bit if you have to, but start off with Steve Highway. You've mentioned him already, but what do you think of when you think about Steve Highway?
A mentor, someone who changed me as a person, made me a better person and a better man, and I've got nothing but admiration for the man.
And the man who gave you your debut at Liverpool, Rafa Benitez?
Yeah, ultimate respect. I think he's proven in the game what a great manager he is, and I think you've always got to thank the guy who gave you your debut for your hometown club and who you dreamed of playing for.
And Gerard Houllier, did you work with Gerard at Aston Villa?
Yeah, mixed emotions about Gerard Houllier. I had him at Liverpool when I was younger. He sent me out on loan a couple of times, didn't really keep in contact, and then when I went to Villa I had a really good run in the team under him, and then for reasons that'll probably come out later down the line, we fell out and I lost my place in the Villa team and probably my career at Villa.
Again, we've mentioned him already, but Fabio Capello, what was your relationship with Fabio?
Yeah, very good. Enjoyed working under him. I thought his tactical side of his game, his management style was different to what I was used to. You can understand why he'd won so many titles in Italy and in Spain. But again, someone who I have to thank massively for giving me the chance to go to a World Cup and to play for England.
Finally, on a managerial front, Simon Grayson. As your manager now, coming to the end of your career, how have you found it working under Simon Grayson?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think it was a difficult period for both Simon and the players because Stuart McCall obviously had a great rapport with the fans and the players, and it was tough for him coming in, but he's shown to the players now why he's been so successful at getting teams out of this league and being a top championship manager. So yeah, I've enjoyed my time working with him.
So finally, despite the tweets last night that we were reading saying, come on Stephen, surely you've got another year in you, you've announced that you're finishing at the end of this season. You said in the statement you want to still be involved in the game. How does that look? How do you envisage your future?
I think first of all it'll be a media side of things. I've already started doing work on that side of the game, which I'm enjoying doing. I've done my UEFA B, which is my coaching role, my coaching badges. I'll look to do my A licence as soon as possible, trying to fit that in. But the main goal is to be a manager. It's something I always I've probably looked at in the last five years or so. That I'd like to take that challenge. I think there's challenges in football that you have to set yourself, and that's one of them that I really want to achieve.
Could you see yourself maybe going in at a youth level, similar to Steven Gerrard at Liverpool?
I think you've got to, in a way. I think you've got to make mistakes, and there's a place where you can make mistakes as a manager, and the youth level is that place. And that's not being disrespectful to the players, but there's not much riding on it on results. So you can try things, you can try different formations, tactics, how you approach players and things like that. And then the other thing is though is that if a job opportunity arises and suddenly you put your name in the hat and you get it, you've got to take it and you've got to run with it and make the most of it.
So what will Stephen Warnock, the manager, what will that look like? The word philosophy is branded around in football a lot. Do you have any footballing philosophies? Do you have a...
Not really. I've got a few notes that I note down about what I'd like to be and the type of person I'd like to be. I think the biggest thing is being a man manager. I think you've got to want your players to play for you first and foremost. They've got to enjoy coming in every day, which is what I try and do every day. I want to come in, I want to enjoy myself, I want to be challenged all the time. So I think the things that what I'd like as a player and what I know other players like, you've got to deliver that to your players.
Do you feel that the leadership roles you've captained a lot of the teams you've played for, do you think that'll help you understanding a dressing room and being able to motivate players?
I think so, yeah. I think that's one of the big things I've taken out of the game is that when you are captain of a club, you often get players coming up to you saying certain things and asking certain questions, and you get a better understanding of players and what they're thinking. So it's a huge role that you play within the game, but I think it'll definitely suit me into management if I go along that route.
Brilliant. So closer to home, last couple of games of this season now coming up. How important is it that the professionalism stays high, the standards stay high, and that we finish the season on a high with Bradford City?
I think it's massive. I think it's massive for not only the players and the staff. I think it's huge for the fans to give them that belief to come back next year to watch the team, that they're improving, they're getting better and stronger. Because this is it's a fantastic football club, and we know the fan base that they've got here. But we need to get them people back in the stadium, and it helps the team massively. I think the team needs to be back in the Championship, but in the short-term game we just need to keep doing what we're doing, which is we're on a good run after the Blackpool game. A lot was said after that game, but we've bounced back really well from it and being positive, and hopefully we get another result at the weekend.
Thanks for talking to us, Stephen, and best of luck for the future.
Cheers, thank you.